Mexico es campeones. Hola a todos. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dan, and today we're going to be talking all things Mexico. They obviously beat the USA in the final of the Gold Cup, which is great. Copa Oro and Copa de Oro, if you like. And yeah, like I just want to talk about it. Obviously, I did think about doing videos on all the games throughout this tournament. But at the time, I'm like, well, it's the Gold Cup. It's not like it's the World Cup or anything. So I'll probably just leave it. And obviously, if Mexico win it, I'll do a video. If they don't, I probably wouldn't have done a video, to be honest with you. Um, and with hindsight, obviously, I had the last week off because I had some tooth surgery, so I would have been able to do videos anyway. So lucked out in that regard. But I thought I'd do a video just covering my reactions to the win, reactions to the tournament, and some other teams that were in the running as well, and the players as well. I think we're in a transitional period for Mexico right now. And you say that often over the last couple of years, but this is the one tournament where we've really started to see some generational change regarding a couple of players in particular. I'll talk about them in a minute. So yeah, there was a little bit of change in this squad. USA fans say that it was Mexico's A team. Not really. No one would put Gilberto Mora or Mateo Chavez into Mexico's A team. 3 weeks ago. And they even now probably, even though I think they both should be in the Mexico's A team, it's definitely not Mexico's A team, but there was a lot of players there that were in that A team. So fair play. I think with several players from the USA quitting on them in the summer, it was definitely Mexico's tournament to lose. Obviously, USA gave them a little bit of a chance. Obviously, they got a shock early goal in the final, and obviously Mexico had to claw back for that. But overall, everyone really expected Mexico to win this game. It would have been an absolute shock if USA had won it. And you're looking at Canada as well. They rocked the group stage. They were blowing teams away left, right, and centre, and they really, really should have gone to the semi-finals. And if you're going to sit here and take the piss out of USA, which I kind of want to do, but I won't too much anyway. Then you have to take the piss out of Canada as well. They should have at least got to the semi-finals of this tournament. They didn't. They absolutely flopped. Guatemala was the shock of the tournament. They did really well. Honduras, I think, did alright as well. There are a couple of other teams I think did alright as well, but mainly Guatemala, Canada, and the USA were the only real challengers to Mexico, and they all flopped in the end. So it would have been definitely an upset if Mexico had lost this game, lost this tournament. Like I said, it was Mexico's to lose, and they did the job. Javier Aguirre has turned this national team around. Some people love it, some people don't love it. At the moment, he's winning games that he needs to win, and he's winning cups that he needs to win, and that's all that matters really, especially with the World Cup next year. Is it pretty? No. Is it easy on the eye? No. Are we blowing teams away? Is it 4-5-0 every game? No, it's not. Mexico barely. It felt like this whole tournament they barely got the job done. They barely did what they needed to do. They didn't really step out of first or second gear. Even the final, the second half, I think was the only time in this whole tournament Mexico really, really stepped it up and turned it into third or fourth gear and just went at them. And USA couldn't handle them. That whole second half, USA were just on the ropes the entire time. It would have been extremely fortuitous if USA got to the penalty stage really in this game. So. Quality of Raul Jimenez again leading the line. His goal scoring records going up and up and up and up. Catching up with Chicharito. I don't think he'll overtake Cheech, but he's catching up. He's going to be really close to him soon. A bunch of goals in this tournament, really good for him. Obviously, seeing him do the Diogo Jota celebration as well, which was poignant. Kind of forgot, to be honest with you, that they both played at Wolves together way back when. It feels like it was a long time ago, but it really does feel like a long time ago now. And yeah, it was really nice of him to do that. Obviously, they knew each other. They were teammates for a couple of years. I think they were friends off the field as well. It was a really nice touch, actually. The whole Jota thing was a shock. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm not going to do a video on it. But the other thing is, it was super sad to find out that happened, and it was really nice for Raul Jimenez to do the celebration, because like I said, it was a tragic event. So. Yeah, Raul Jimenez player of the tournament for me, to be honest with you. Sandy Jimenez still very much the junior partner in that striking position. Started off the tournament with both of them playing. I kind of fizzled out towards the end. It kind of went back to a 4-3-3 with Vega on the left, Pierro on the right, and Jimenez up at the top. So yeah, we still got to expect more from Santi. There's rumours of him moving clubs as well, so maybe that'll help him. I'm not sure, but um, yeah, I mean, you got to talk about the goalkeeper. I think Malagon did alright in this tournament. Again, did alright. Obviously, considering the opponents we faced. Um, I think Tala played a tougher opponent in this tournament than Malagon did, at least until the knockout stages. And then once we got to the knockout stages, you kind of knew Malagon was going to be the main goalkeeper. They got goalkeeper of the tournament as well, which is nice. I strongly feel that Malagon's time as number one of the Mexican national team goalkeeper is very, very limited. I still don't think Tala's that far off. In my opinion, I think if you put Rangel in goal, maybe he could have saved the goal. I'm not sure, but he definitely would have done as well as Malagon did. So credit to Malagon. You can't say that he's not a good goalkeeper. He is a good goalkeeper. I just think that Rangel was not that far off him, and I think given their ages, given that Rangel was significantly younger than Malagon, I think Malagon's time is limited. So credit to him. He won the tournament. He did what he had to do. So credit to him. But yeah, expect a change in the goalkeeping position sooner rather than later. The glaring thing for me right now is the defence, the fullbacks. Obviously, the centre backs are sorted for the time being, but the fullbacks, obviously, Jorge Sanchez and Gallardo started this game surprisingly, especially Jorge Sanchez out on the right. You thought that Julian Araujo was going to go there. But he didn't. He's considering that Araujo's played quite a lot this tournament. Him not playing the finals is a little bit of a gut punch. Maybe there's a fitness issue. Maybe. Um, Mateo Chavez, I think, is nailed down that left back spot now. I think this is probably just a swan song for Gallardo. One last thing for Gallardo to do before he gets kicked out of the national team. I think his time is up, to be honest with you. Mateo Chavez has shown that he's ready for Mexico's, not only Mexican senior team, but the A team, the best of the team. By far Mexico's best left back now. He's out by now. They obviously signed him when he was 21. I don't think he's 22 yet. So he could go to the under 23s maybe there. But I feel like if they've scouted him enough to sign him and they followed him in this tournament, I think he's definitely going to be in contention for a left back spot, the senior left back spot in that team. And then who knows if he does well for a couple of years in the Eredivisie, then maybe a bigger team will come in for him. But Mateo Chavez, the sky's the limit for him, to be honest with you. I'm super happy he's in Europe now. Super happy for him. He's Mexico's best left back now. And that's it. I think he should have started this final, but, like I said, I think Gallardo deserved one last final hurrah. Jorge Sanchez, don't want to see him start for Mexico. If he comes off the bench, fine, but I don't want to see him start for Mexico. I'm assuming Guerrero had a fitness issue, and that's why he didn't play. Why he didn't start, but yeah, Araujo and Mateo Chavez are the left backs for Mexico for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years, maybe. Health wise, taking into account injuries and stuff like that. And yeah, I think they're going to do brilliantly, and I think obviously they've got a good 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years with the centre backs. So I think that could be a solid unit for a few years to come. I think it's going to bode well for the World Cup. I think another year, this time next year, I think they're going to be playing much better together. Injuries, determine things sometimes, but hopefully if they're all fit and healthy to go, I think that's the four at the back. The star of the tournament, the starlet of the tournament, should I say, is Gilberto Mora, 16 years old, starting games. He's the youngest player. I think he's the youngest Mexican player to debut for the Mexican national team. I think he's the youngest Mexican player to play in the Gold Cup. He's the youngest Mexican player to start a cup final. I think he may actually be the youngest player ever to start a Gold Cup final. I'm not quite sure on that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But definitely for Mexico. And this kid plays like he's 26. Absolutely brilliant. He's got a couple of assists in this tournament. Brilliant. I mean, he's not going to be at Cholos for long. Whether he goes to another Liga MX club, I doubt it. I think he's going to go to Europe. There's talks of Ajax involved. after this tournament, I think a lot of big clubs in Europe are going to be looking at him and seriously considering getting him. He's not going to be at Cholos for much longer. I fully expect him to leave Cholos this summer. Where he goes is a massive coin toss, but definitely not going to stay at Cholos this summer. Um, what a kid, man! Coming in, he's finally throwing Charlie out the starting lineup, which is great. Charlie can't even get on the pitch now, which is great. That's what we need. We need to start being a bit more ruthless in this national team and start cutting players that just aren't good enough anymore. And yeah, some people have even argued that Moore has already done more in the national team than Charlie ever did. I think that's a little bit extreme, but it's in that kind of vein of mode at the moment. I think that's the way it's heading. And super happy for the kid. Alexis Vega absolutely deserved starting a whole bunch of these games at left wing. One of the best players in the league last year, absolutely deserved it. Piojo, that right wing spot is up for grabs in my opinion. Piojo's doing alright. I don't think he does enough for the national team. But he's doing alright. I think his days in the national team are numbered as well, if I'm being brutally honest. And I don't want Piojo to leave the national team. He's a cheerless player. But that right wing spot is up for grabs. Whether it's going to be Julian Alvarez or someone else, I don't know. But that left wing spot is going to be something to follow in the next few months, should I say, going into the World Cup. I don't expect Piojo to start the first game of the World Cup. And on the right hand side anyway, I think it'll be someone else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Really happy with the team. Obviously, it's another win now. It's two cups in a row now. The Nations League, obviously, and the Copa, and they're obviously winning the Copa del Oro twice in a row now, which is great. Obviously, it's back to being Mexico's Cup now, which is great. The USA seem to be in turmoil. Pochettino seems to be a massive mistake. Pulisic leaving quitting basically this summer. Raul Jimenez has played just as much, maybe even I don't think more, but just as much, and he's older than Pulisic and he's playing, starting pretty much every single Mexico game. Goes to show you, not just Pulisic, a whole bunch of Balogun as well, and other players as well. Yeah, dodgy times for the USA now. I think their golden era is coming to a crashing end. And it's up to Mexico now. I think Aguirre's doing alright. I think Aguirre's earned the opportunity to coach Mexico in the next World Cup. After that, I expect the managerial change. If it's still like this, where we're getting 1-0s, 2-1s, it's quite closer than it should be. This final is closer than it should be. Mexico should have won this game 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. Even 4-0. To be honest with you, the first goal was a rare defensive error in this Mexico team. So yeah, Aguirre's doing brilliantly in getting done what he needs to get done, but it's not it's not a level raiser. You get to a point where Mexico's winning the Copa Oro and the Nations League all the time, and you start to think, well, is this enough? And you wanna get a new coach in to take Mexico to the next level. I think Aguirre is going to be a coach until the end of the World Cup, and then we'll see a managerial change. But so far, so good. It's not pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty. Mexico were absolutely in the mud a couple of years ago. USA were on a really good run of form, winning cups left, right, and centre. And we needed to claw that back, and and he's done that. He's similar to what Arteta did at Arsenal. He dragged the team and the whole institution from the mud, and kind of raised it up. And yeah, if we can keep it going, if it's a decent showing in the World Cup, then it's a good foundation for someone younger, obviously, and better maybe to come in and take the national team to the next level. But yeah, Canada as well. They look like a really good team, but they failed. They flopped so hard. They had their A team as well, and I don't think Alphonso Davies was there. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember, but they had their, as far as I know, they had their A team and they still failed. So at the moment, Mexico are the kings of CONCACAF, which is great. So we'll keep that going into next year and see if we can do a really good World Cup run. But anyway, let me know what you think about the Copa Oro and the Gold Cup. I thought it was a decent tournament. I thought, the group stage was a little bit dodgy, playing some of these quote-unquote lesser teams. But you get to the knockout stage and it really does increase its value for me, the Gold Cup. And it was a really good tournament for Mexico in general. I think we learned a lot. I think Aguirre learned a lot. yeah, in regards to the young players coming in, older players going out. And I think that's what's going to happen now. Some of these the phase is going to continue, hopefully. And we're going to start seeing more youngsters in and around the national team. So I think there's a lot of, well, not a lot, but there's a decent batch of young, really good players coming through, especially at Chivas, that should be in the national team sooner rather than later. But let me know what you thought about the tournament, the players, Mora in particular. I think he's going to be the one that gets all the plaudits, which is fair play. 16 years old, starting for Mexican national team is not an easy thing to do. No one else has done it. Marquez was the only one that's come close to doing that, from my memory of the near past anyway. Um, yeah, brilliant. And we'll talk about the comments of the players and stuff, and the future, the immediate future, which I think is the next 12 months. And then beyond that, I think there's two separate conversations to be had there. Yeah, congratulations to the Mexican national team. Brilliant. Deserved winners. Expected winners. You did what you needed to do. Brilliant. Have a good couple of weeks rest because the clubs are going to be back to do their preseason in a couple of weeks. So it's crazy how busy this summer's been. Club World Cup hasn't even finished yet. It is what it is. But yeah, in a couple of weeks we'll be talking about our clubs again. The Liga MX starts really soon, obviously, and Premier League starts a little bit later than that. But yeah, next in a few weeks we're going to be talking about clubs again, which is crazy. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We do appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't done already. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Take it easy. Adios.